All right, here we go. So the S&P has been down for 3 days in a row now, and it's a short trading week. Tomorrow is the last trading day. Gosh, and I missed 2 of these days. So what's happening, and will stocks recover? And with that said, welcome to Coffee with Marcus and Mark. Not only Mark again. I'm back. Today is Wednesday, March 27th, and in this show, we are going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. Hey man, thanks for holding down the fort. I was in a meeting downtown for a couple of days, so what did I miss?
Ah, well, you didn't miss much, Marcus, and nice to have you back. But the S&P 500 was looking at a 3-day losing streak and possibly seeing that streak continue, but a little bit of a pop today.
Yeah, but overall, it kind of feels that the rally is fizzling out. Although, if you look at the trend line, I mean, the trend line is still intact. I mean, we even have a little bit more room to the downside. We could go all the way down to 5,200, and the trend line
Sure.
would still be intact.
Sure. And I think that this trend line just it highlights how well the S&P 500 has done in the first quarter. So you see that trend line is connecting those lows from January, February, and March. And right now, it looks like we could wrap up the first quarter with the best gains that we've had since 2019, I think it was.
I know, and it's kind of crazy because look at this. This is actually kind of a perfect trend channel that we have been in. So, and this
Sure.
means that this move is orderly. This is not just going crazy. The markets are nicely and orderly moving higher. Now, can they retrace? I believe at some point they need to, but we also see here the 50-day moving average is not going crazy. It's not yet flattening out.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. So, yeah, it has been a quiet week, and it's because it's a shortened trading week, right? Because on
Sure.
Friday, markets are closed in observance of Good Friday. So this is where, yeah, not a whole lot going on. We also don't have much on the economic calendar here this week.
Nope, nope. And the biggie, of course, is on Friday when markets are closed. So we're not going to see the market response until Monday. But you're right, not a whole lot going on, and no surprise to me that it's a bit of a quiet week. And I think things could pick up next week once we get past the Easter holiday, and then of course jobs first Friday of the month being reported next Friday.
Right. But I believe that overall this week, we will definitely end lower because there is some profit taking after this quarter. I mean, so far we're up almost 10% year to date in the S&P 500. We are up 9.6% year to date in the Nasdaq, and we are up 5% year to date in the Dow. I mean, this is where I think if you're a big hedge fund, I mean, wouldn't you take some profits at this point and just for the quarterly report and say, "Hey, look at this, looking good."
Yeah, I think that's something that we can see, and maybe not a huge decline, but just a little bit of a dip because it has been a good month and good quarter, and we're looking at a 5-month winning streak for all of the major indices.
Yeah, I mean, it just has been going up, up, and away. And I mean, it was really interesting to see yesterday that overall, yesterday was a pretty quiet and uneventful day, and then a massive drop in the close out of nowhere. Did you see anything? What could have caused this drop?
I didn't, but to be 100% honest, I was in some coaching calls at the end of the day, and I wasn't even looking.
Yeah. And then today, we see that we pretty much opened up where we opened yesterday. And at first, it looked like we wanted to push higher. Right now, also moving lower, trading towards session lows, but still positive for the day, up 0.6% in the Dow, up 0.25%. However, in the NASDAQ, we're down. I just want to look at the heat map. Is there any particular stock that is dragging down the NASDAQ today? So over there. Oh, Nvidia is down 3%. There
Yep.
you go.
So semiconductors look mixed, but AVGO, Nvidia, I mean, 2% or 3% down for Nvidia is a decent drop. MU's down a little bit.
Right. And this is where, again, if you look at the weighting in the index, I mean, Nvidia definitely being a heavyweight. So therefore, probably right now, dragging down the index. But overall, it's a super quiet day in the markets again.
Yep.
Um, on the other hand, Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin is dropping again. Geez, look at this. Wow. I mean, it's Bitcoin. These days, you blink, look at this move. This is a 4% move. Because earlier this morning, I was looking at it and saying, oh, wow, Bitcoin is above 70,000 again. And then you blink, and an hour later, Bitcoin is below 70,000 again. That's a
Definitely
4.4% move here.
a little volatility there, just a little.
A little, yeah. Let's go on the daily chart. So, I mean, I think what we see here in the cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, that is kind of healthy because we made this parabolic move and now we're stabilizing and now we're coming closer to a trend line. And we just talked about a trend line in the S&P 500. Right now, it seems that we have a little bit more of an orderly move and not this hype that has been going on there. And I honestly like this move better than the initial just parabolic move.
Oh, I agree. When it gets crazy like that, I know that it does attract some traders, some rookies, some hobby traders, Uber drivers. Nothing against Uber drivers, but everybody's, oh my gosh, I gotta put some money in this, or otherwise I'm gonna miss out. This is the way to get rich. And yeah, we see it time and time again. After the hype, there's some pullbacks, and you're the bag holder. If you trade a more orderly move, it tends to be easier to trade, and that's where we could get those SRC profits that we're after.
Yeah. And I mean, we're still trading at record highs here in Bitcoin. I mean, not making new all-time highs, but definitely taking out the highs that we made in 2022.
Yep.
Talking about hyping stuff up, let's talk about Reddit. RDDT. Reddit went public and at first kind of went crazy up. Yesterday, Reddit had a phenomenal day. I mean, yesterday, Reddit was up 8%. At some point, it was up, I think, more than 15%. Today, a little bit pulling back. I mean, 13%. So definitely some volatility in this.
Yeah. These are fun to talk about, but again, this thing's going to be trading at $24 a share in no time, half the initial value at the open when it went public.
We will keep an eye on this. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. And I mean, Reddit, we know a couple of years ago, GameStop was the favorite on Reddit. To the moon, I'm pulling up a weekly chart here where GameStop kind of went crazy. Then today, they reported earnings and they are pulling back right now 16% after reporting worse than expected earnings.
Yeah, and I think that this is another one. There was a conversation that we had in a call yesterday where a trader brought up GameStop, and I was like, "Stop it, stop!" Like I don't care about GameStop. And then the comment was, "No, no, no. I just there's a lot of talk, a lot of interest, and a lot of people in these forums are saying that GameStop is going to take off and have great earnings."
Well,
Yeah.
that didn't happen. And this is why,
Careful with forums.
yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of online forums. We will find a lot of keyboard cowboys in there. I mean, it's
Exactly.
really hard to find the good advice in these forums. You have to sift through a lot of BS often,
Yep. Yep.
right? So that's what's happening there. Hey, and then did you see DWAC and now being called DJT? Trump
Yeah.
Media and Technology with the ticker symbol DJT yesterday had its debut as the first as a publicly traded company. This was one of these SPAC mergers. So previously it was trading under the ticker DWAC. And now it is official. It is now Trump Media and Technology Group. And look at this today, up 13%.
Yeah. Interesting.
that's all you got for this.
Well, I don't like that chart. Well, yeah. I mean, another one. Are you? I think you're missing the 26th. But if you go to PowerX Optimizer, you'll get the 26th. I think it gives you a better perspective.
Okay, so let's go to DNUT. So they say on TradingView we're missing some data, and we have it here.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least it looked, because here you get yesterday's reaction, right?
Right.
And again, I mean, if you decided that this is going to the moon and you bought it yesterday's open, you pick shares up at 70, 90, and then by the end of the day they were trading at 58, right? Today they opened up again at 70, 81, and now they're trading at 65. And so,
With
this
this stuff,
type of
there's just a lot of volatility in there.
yeah, yeah.
So you ready to talk about some boring stocks like Apple? One of
Those
our
are the
main
fun
trades.
ones.
I mean,
Those are the
Apple,
ones I get excited about.
we both sold puts on Apple. I sold it at the 170 level. You at the 167.50. And if Apple stays above 170, or for you 167.50, these puts will expire worthless. We keep all of the premium. And honestly, what do I need to do to get assigned in Apple? I have been trying to get assigned in Apple now 4 times. This is my 4th time. Now, again, today's Wednesday. We have another trading day tomorrow. But if by tomorrow Apple stays above 170, I will not get assigned again. So this is where
Yeah.
we traded it once for 160.50, and then I traded it 2 more times for 170. And right now, it is my 4th time trying to get assigned in Apple.
That's okay, but that's okay. That's okay, right? You have the line in the sand. You say, I'm okay owning shares at this price, and let me get paid. In the meantime, I did the 167.50. I actually bought back those puts for 7 cents today, so that was 92% of the max profit. It never came down to 167.50, but I got paid anyway. So
Yeah.
that works for me, and it's a little more boring. Actually, Marcus, I think that this is an important takeaway. Boring is okay. And, I mean, we offer a high level mastermind members for traders who are serious and have some slightly larger accounts. But you also are a big fan of masterminds and learning from other people who have seen success and know more than you do. And I remember you got back from a high level mastermind, and there was a guy that had a multi-million-dollar business. He said, yeah, but it's boring. And you said, tell me about it. Right? I think that is an important takeaway.
So, I mean, just super briefly, and then we go back to the charts. So he has an office cleaning business. I don't think there's anything more boring than cleaning offices. I mean, in terms of business, there's no exciting about AI or anything like this. I mean, he sends a crew there. They're doing a great job cleaning. And he is making $300 million per year. You guys said, hey, first of all, I'm selling a product that everybody needs. Everybody needs office cleaning. And he said, if I do a decent job, I'll have a customer forever. So yeah, I mean, back to us at the market, very, very similar here. I mean, we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I mean, if you have been following us for the last few years, you know that this is what we do. We're selling puts on quality stocks that we like to own. And that's what we did with Apple. Now, sometimes we get in trouble. I shouldn't say getting in trouble. I mean, we recently talked about this. We will retire this being stuck. We are in a position. Here we are in CSIQ. Here our cost basis is 27.66. My break even is 27.12. And yes, it has dropped as low as $18. I think even below $18. Today, nice recovery, up 5%. It is still a quality company, low PE ratio, profitable, and the solar market right now with the high interest rates is just getting beaten down. Same here. And I mean, I recently saw somebody saying, when are you cutting your losses here? Well, I believe, based on the research that we have done, that CSIQ will recover, and it has done it a few times already. Because if we zoom out a little bit and go to a 2-year chart, you see that initially we had this drop. We flew a rescue mission. We had a really nice bounce and recovery. And that's what we're looking for right now. And honestly, I mean, it's not that much. What we need is kind of like a nice 30 to 40% move. And this sounds like, oh my gosh, this is a whole lot. And we're talking about a stock that can easily move 5% in a day. We have seen it move 8% in a day. So, I mean, this is where we can see a very quick recovery. And right now, we own CSIQ and we're okay with it.
Yep. Yep. I agree, and I think we need to retire the stuck, the phrase "stuck in a trade" because we really just kind of took that from some traders who didn't feel good about a trade that they took in the first place. And here, I really don't think fundamentally anything has changed from when we entered the trade. The only thing is that there were some rough quarters, right? We know those rough quarters were tied to the higher interest rates or yields, and also that it was an industry thing. It wasn't just related to the stock. So if Elon Musk comes out with this sun-sucking orb that you could put in your backyard that's the size of a Rubik's Cube, now there's a fundamental problem with solar panels, right? But until that happens, solar panels are still solar panels. The industry is still the industry. There's still sun. There's still, alternative energy sources that could be taken advantage of. And I think it's just a matter of time for us with this one.
Yeah. Talking about the sun-sucking orb, we started watching a new show, Resident Alien. Have you heard about this? It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Well,
I started first watching season. We just finished the first season.
Pretty good.
It's funny. It's funny. Have you guys seen it, Resident Alien on Netflix? If you have, let us know in the comments what you think about the show. Anyhow, the one thing about CSIQ, yes, it would be nicer if they paid a dividend, because this is what happened with NEE and UPS. I mean, these are dividend payers, and I mean, NEE, really nice, 3.3% dividend, and we have been able to collect dividend while we were in this position. I mean, the dividend payments had been, I think, 3 times already? No, twice. We got twice paid at a nice dividend.
Yep.
But hey, that's a nice bonus. And today, NEE is up almost 2%, so also moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I can't complain here, and we're still a little bit off from our cost basis, but looking good, and I'll take the almost 2% gain.
Yeah, so this is where right now we definitely need to break through the 63 level. That is a key level. It has acted as resistance before, so we need to see that we break above it. Once we break above it, typically previous resistance acts as support. So once we are through with it, we should be nicely up here.
Yep.
And then there's UPS. I mean, holy. I mean, talking about misstating something, and who was it who had the wrong decimal in one of these earnings reports, and at first shot up like crazy? Wasn't it Lyft?
Maybe. I do remember that, but yeah.
So very similar with UPS. So they had the investing conference, and you found actually out what happened, what has caused this dip yesterday, which was, I mean, an 8% dip. And kind of good news, bad news. I mean, good news, I sold calls against my position. I was able to buy them back for 90% of max profits. So I'm liking this. And of course, now we have to go back up. But you have found what caused this 8% drop yesterday.
Exactly. So yesterday morning, UPS was higher. It was, I think trading 161, 162-ish maybe in pre-market trading. And we were thinking, great, this is the breakout that we wanted, that we've been waiting for. It looks like we're on the way to making some more money and maybe getting out. And then it opened and just tanked. And it was like, what the heck is going on? Because from the reports that we read, it seemed to be that there was positive news. Like their guidance actually was good. But then I came across this report that they announced free cash flow and their target this morning being 17 billion to 18 billion. And at first, that was expected, or the way that it was reported, investors thought that was for the fiscal year for 2026, which was so much more than they expected. But actually, it was for the period between 2024 through 2026.
Yeah. So, they expected only 5 billion. And this is how the report read at first. This is what everybody thought. And oh my gosh. And then, no, wait, it's for a 3-year period. And
Yeah.
everybody, oh, that ain't good. So
I still
this
think it's an
morning,
overreaction.
yeah, it's definitely an overreaction. And this morning we already see a nice bounce back. So we're already seeing UPS up 1.75%. And this is where right now everybody is just after the initial shock trying to figure out, okay, what exactly does it mean? So the 17 to 18 billion dollars for 1 year, phenomenal. UPIA for 3 years, not as good. But is it that bad? So I believe that probably next week we will be in the 150, 152 area again. We might bounce back quicker, but I think it will take investors a little bit to digest this initial shock here.
Yeah, and I again, just like for us, it was a little bit difficult to figure out the why, right? And so sometimes that snowballs into a bigger issue, and then once you understand the why, it might be easier to step back into this. I cautiously view analyst expectations, but I think it is interesting that right now the average rating has a target of 160.74, which is great for us. But and this is a 1 year target, right? So it's not a 1 month target or 1 week target. On the high side, a target of 210, and on the low side, I think it was Morgan Stanley. They were at 95 and they bumped it up to 100, right? So it's kind of all over the place, but I think that analysts are optimistic in spite of this
Yeah,
little
interestingly enough,
vote.
yesterday after the news came out, Bank of America actually raised their target from 157 to 160 or even 164, I believe. So this,
Yeah.
and I mean, again, analysts, when they raise or lower their targets, sure, it's one opinion. But I mean, Bank of America, this is not a, I don't know, fly by night, whatever analyst that wants to make a name for himself. So we'll see. I mean, right now, nice to see it bounce back. We would like to see a bigger bounce back, yes. And again, it
Sure.
might take a few days.
Yep.
Alrighty, so quickly hopping over to WTF. I know that we are going a little bit longer, but hey, I'm trying to catch up here of what's happening. So, CTSH, super interesting. After initially we got stopped out of this one, we had another entry, and right now we're already nicely up. I mean, CTSH, let me just see. I'm already up around $1,000, and my stop out was $4,000. So, I mean, making back a little bit so far. Let's see if we can move a little bit higher before we close the trade. But this is definitely softening this initial blow here a little bit.
Oh yeah, and this is why we decided, hey, it's a signal. Let's trade it. We took it the first time. We'll take it again. Not afraid. That's the whole point of win the fear. Don't be afraid.
Win the fear, WTF. Are you in any other trades, WTF trades?
Yeah, I'm in ABT.
Oh, okay. So you're still in ABT. And this is where, oh, this is also starting to look nice. I mean, this is bouncing back
Yeah.
nicely. I think you bought it at around 115. Does that sound about right? Being back at
A
113?
little bit higher. I think it was 115.53 or 73.
Okay.
But down a little bit, but looking much better.
Yeah. All right, let's see what is happening overall in the markets, where we are right now. So it seems that we are bouncing back. It almost looked like it. Seems that the Nasdaq has stopped the fall because we were initially down 0.25% when we started it. Right now, still a whole bunch of nothing. Tomorrow will be the last trading day of the week since markets are closed on Friday, and it seems that the theme of the week is tiddling along.
Yep. Yep. So we'll see where we end up, but nice to see some green for positions that we're in. I'll take that. And all in all, a nice wrap up to the month, but it's not over yet.
It's not over yet, and so stay tuned and see what's happening tomorrow. I know that we went a little bit longer today, but is this helpful as we are talking about our trades and what we are thinking, what our rationale is for the trades? If it is, give us a like. We really appreciate this. And if you feel that others might find this helpful, there's a share button right underneath. Feel free to share the video. If you click the button, you see you can share it anywhere and everywhere. Try it out. It's really cool. And if this is your first time here, hope that you're subscribing and that we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your day.
Happy trading, everybody.